that is certainly something that's top of mind, but I almost even want to expand out a bit just because education is something that's been on my mind heavy in 2023, given a lot of conversations that we have about affirmative action, about Black history, about EDIB, et cetera. And as someone who fundamentally believes that she would not be on calls like this without her education and had to get in a lot of debt to do that, but was willing and ready to do that and understanding the implications of doing that. That is definitely something I wanted to ask you about, Senator, more specifically. How do we preserve a accessible and equitable education, given the conversations that we're having, especially around affirmative action, but not necessarily having the conversation around legacy? That is definitely something that's top of mind for me.
Well, I think that, again, I just see the world, the universe, perhaps, between, in humanity, two forces, us versus them, and just us. I want to be in the justice, the just us category. And the problem is often people think of affirmative action as something that's about Black people, for Black people, and so on and so forth, not understanding that this is about all of us being a more successful society here in the United States of America. It's not simply correcting for past ills, but you can't let wounds fester without thinking that there's going to be that the body as a whole is not going to suffer from that. But more, the simple understanding that in a global knowledge-based economy, which we're in now, gone is the country that can control the most, natural resources in their soil, or what. We are a knowledge-based society. The smarter your population is, the more educated your population, the better they do. And I say that to say that this thought that we in America can succeed as Team America against Team China or Team whatever groups you want to say, and disadvantage certain people or leave certain people on the sidelines and win is outrageous. And the problem we have right now is we still don't understand, because I don't think we're doing enough to educate all of us to understand why the legacies of bigotry and racism and disadvantage are undermining our economic strength and are being compounded by other systems of injustice, like a mass incarceration system, which is invading community. I'm the only United States senator that lives in a Black and brown community. My census tract actually is below the poverty line for the last 25 years. And I grew up in a wealthy, affluent area in New Jersey. And there's no difference between the young people's rates of using marijuana in my more affluent community and in my African-American community I live now, but the arrest rates are wildly different. And nobody thinks through the fact that if there's no difference between Blacks and whites for using marijuana or selling marijuana, actually, but Blacks are arrested at 4 times the rate, that actually has a multiplier effect when it comes to the economic well-being of a community, because once you have a criminal arrest for marijuana, you can't get a job at a McDonald's, for crying out loud. And so you're economically disadvantaging entire families, communities, for things that multiple presidents have now admitted doing. And so all of these things are being baked into a system that is producing results that don't provide for our strength. So when you talk about higher ed, and you look at all of these things and how they undermine a level playing field, and you understand that in an educational environment, the more diversity, the better that environment is. Don't take my word for it. Take McKinsey, a big consulting company, Harvard, I hate to quote Harvard, but Harvard Business School, and a lot of other institutions have shown diverse teams do better. When you take hidden figures out of the shadows, connect them with NASA astronauts, you literally become the first country to go to the moon. And so I put that's how I put education in context. This idea that you're creating a system that doubles down on inequities of the past, that doesn't find a way to create thriving, diverse environments, that still, as you said so pointedly, that still gives advantage to legacies. My great-grandfather didn't have the same opportunity to go to Harvard, I'm sorry, as some other people's great-grandfathers or grandfathers. We need systems so we can compete in the world that create, that mine the talent and the genius of everyone, because there's as many geniuses being born in the lowest income parts of Newark as there are in the highest income parts of New Jersey.